What's up, Vikings fans? Before we get into today's show, I got a quick question for you. Who will be Mr. Minnetonka during this year's Vikings training camp? Last season, it went to K.J. Osborn. So let me know down in the comments who is going to be Mr. Minnetonka. Vikings Now is sponsored by Mint Mobile, and I absolutely love these guys because they have cellular phone plans starting at just $15 a month. If you guys want to get started, luckily for you, it's mintmobile.com/chatsports. That link's going to be available for you all in the comments and in the description of today's video. And later on, I'll tell you how easy it is to switch your plan because $15 a month, yeah, I know, I got your attention. So coming up here on today's show, I'm going to be looking at 5 training camp storylines. Every year, right? I mean, every year when you get ready to go into camping, technically the Vikings starting camp on Tuesday, but Wednesday's the day that you actually get to see some action. So for me, I had 5 storylines that I was like, this is what I'm looking for. And the first thing is going to be this. Justin Jefferson, he's going to be eyeing 2,000 yards this season. He's confident. Y'all know how much I love Jefferson. I was on another show just a week ago, maybe a few days ago at this point, and I talked about how it's one of the best wide receiver quarterback duos in the entire league. I mean, when you talk about the fact that him and Kirk Cousins have combined for the most yards in his first 2 seasons, that's pretty spectacular to me. And in the third year, that's what's known as the breakout year. That's the year that you see receivers take a big step forward. 1,600 yards, I'm thinking 2,000 here for Justin Jefferson. This is what he had to say on Chasing 2K. I think I can. Hopefully, everything goes right, and I can get to that 2,000. That's my goal. Kevin O'Connell will put me in different positions, put me in motion, put me in different spots to get the ball. So we're excited about this new offense. I feel great about all the different coaches coming into the building. Everybody's having a great connection with all the players. And personally, I think if anybody can break 2,000 yards, watching Cooper Kupp almost get there last season, Kupp is an amazing route runner, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but I don't think he has the athletic ability that Jefferson has shown me, and people could rip on Kirk Cousins all they want. Hell, I do it sometimes. There's definitely really, really good chemistry there in his first 2 seasons, 196 grabs. That's the most all-time by a rookie and then sophomore receiver in his first 2 seasons. Over 3,000 yards. Most all-time in your first 2 seasons. 17 touchdowns. That's about 13th all-time. But we're talking about yards and yards only. Plus, you kind of heard Jefferson. I don't want to say he ripped on Mike Zimmer in that quote, but he's excited about Kevin O'Connell because he's going to get the most out of Justin. They know that O'Connell's going to be a lot more creative than what Mike Zimmer ever was. Nobody's really going to disagree with that statement. And because of that, they're going to get the football in their young star wide receivers' hands a lot more often. Let's go to the next thing I'm looking at here at Vikings training camp. Who is going to start at right guard, right? It's like the ultimate shrug emoji. I know that they brought in Jesse Davis. He spent some time with the Miami Dolphins. You also have Ed Ingram, who you drafted in the 2nd round, 59 overall out of LSU. And then there's Wyatt Davis. And I'm going to take the L on this one because I thought Wyatt Davis was going to be a good player when he first came out of college. He was like on, I believe, the all-decade team for Ohio State or the Big Ten. He was a good player. However, once he got to the NFL, I think he got humbled a little bit and has kind of hurt his confidence. But the fact that this competition is wide open right now, it's going to be one to watch. I do think that Ed Ingram is the long-term play here probably. Chris Reed, you could also throw Ed Ingram at the left guard spot. That's definitely a possibility. But I really think it's between Jesse Davis, Chris Reed, Wyatt Davis. So who do y'all think ends up starting at right guard? If I was a betting man, which I am, I would probably type JD. But you know what? I want to hear what you guys have to say. Who starts at right guard for Minnesota? The next thing that we're going to be looking at here is the quarterback 2 battle. And some of y'all might not think that this is as important, but it is important for the simple fact of there's going to be a lot of concentration on this at training camp, and I'm going to get into it here around Sean Mannion and Kellen Mond in a second, but remember, y'all, Mint Mobile, they are sponsoring today's show, and you can start saving today at mintmobile.com/chatsports. I get it. It's scary to switch cell phone providers. I don't know why, but it is. Here's the best part about Mint. It's really, really easy to do, and I want you to listen to how easy it is. Thanks to their digital eSIM cards, you never have to visit a store to activate your plan, and in seconds can get some get set up from the comfort of your home. I never try to leave my house anymore. That's why I love DoorDash as much as I do. This is kind of what I can do here with Mint Mobile. You can also keep your current device, and you can keep your phone number. I mean, that is probably the biggest reason why I love doing it. Super easy to do, and if your phone isn't eSIM compatible, Mint will ship you a new SIM card free of charge. $15 a month. You can keep your phone. It's a super easy transition. Go to mintmobile.com/chatsports. That's the link. It's going to be available for y'all in the comments. Description of today's video. I think that we can all agree $15 a month is a pretty good deal for a phone bill. All right, let's talk about the quarterback 2 battle because, I don't know, maybe I might be calling up Kellen Mond. He might get that. I don't know. This is what we're going to talk about here, though. The quarterback 2 battle between Mond, who is the superior athlete, compared to a backup quarterback that I think is a lot closer to the guy you currently have. So Mond, he's the athlete. I think he's the QB3. Compared to Sean Mannion, who's definitely more close to Kirk Cousins than what Kellen Mond is. And I think there's 2 ways to look at this, right? There's 2 ways to look at the backup quarterback battle. Option A, you can look at it as Kellen Mond needs more reps. Why? Because at this point in his career, he's the more unknown commodity. And I have a lot more confidence in Kevin O'Connell being able to get the most out of Mond compared to Mike Zimmer. And Zimmer, for whatever reason, he didn't seem like he really got along with any of the quarterbacks, especially Mond. And then one of the reasons why I don't know if there's a reason for Mannion to play is, again, you know what you're going to get out of Mannion. Personally, I don't think Kellen Mond is the answer long term. And Mannion could be that backup to Cousins in the preseason. But I want to see Kellen Mond grow, because if he doesn't grow, you got to wipe your hands clean and move on. All right, let's talk about the new Kirk Cousins, because I want to put some respect on Cousins' name, and he's always been this player that I like to troll. He's an easy person to troll, but he's looked pretty good over the past few seasons, putting up some pretty solid numbers. And if you want to watch the new Kirk Cousins, if you want to watch Justin Jefferson the entire year, I want you to subscribe to this YouTube channel right now, because we are getting closer. We're getting close, man. We're almost at 5,000 subs, and that's a really good benchmark to show y'all how much that this channel continues to grow. So if you want training camp updates, if you want updates right after games, if you want news and rumors around injuries, we'll keep you up to date here, I promise you on that. Hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free. Let's now talk about Kirk Cousins and this quote that Ben Leber had to say about him. I think he's going to finally thrive, really thrive, in a system and a coach that actually respects him. I mean, it's not like I'm not breaking news here that Mike Zimmer did not like Kirk Cousins, and I think that showed in a way that Kirk behaved in the way that he carried himself. The team was never given to him, or he was never allowed to earn that trust of the team because the head coach, I think, just didn't like him. I mean, let's be honest here. Mike Zimmer held Kirk Cousins back. I'm not saying that it's 100% on Zimmer, because Kirk also had a lot of issues in the last place he was in Washington, so if it happens in 2 spots, maybe Kirk does deserve a little blame here, which I think he does. I think Kirk Cousins thinks he's a lot better quarterback overall than what he truly is. And in terms of numbers here, he had 35 touchdowns last season, threw for over 4,000 yards. So he's thrown for over 31 touchdowns in back-to-back seasons, which I definitely think is pretty impressive. And in fact, the only other time he's ever thrown for over 30 touchdowns was in 2018. He's done it back-to-back years with Justin Jefferson. So Cousins can continue to get better, and I do think that this could technically be a make-or-break year for him, because if you see that it just doesn't click in the first year with O'Connell, then it's time to move on. He's got a 1-year deal. He's making $35 million per year this season. He's in this purgatory of quarterbacks where, is he worth more than that? I would say no. But if you pay him too much, then you can't build a roster around him. If you don't give Cousins a good enough roster around him, you're not going to win football games. However, if you move on from Cousins, it's not that easy to find good quarterback play in the NFL. So be honest with me here. Do you guys believe in Cousins? I want you to type B for believe, or I want you to type DB for you don't believe in him. And when I think of believe, you go into the season, and this is the ultimate goal, Super Bowl. This team is really talented. Do you think that Kirk Cousins can win a Super Bowl? If you're like, yes, type B for believe. If you're like, man, I don't believe it, type DB. All right, let's look at the final thing that I'm going to be looking at here at training camp. Lewis Cine, the first-round pick out of Georgia, the safety, or Cam Bynum. I know Harrison Smith's going to be the other safety. I've actually thrown out an idea of putting all three of these guys on the field at one time because I can make an argument those are three of your best top 11 defensive players. In terms of Bynum last season, 28 tackles, 1 INT, 3 PBUs. The thing is this, though. When you draft somebody in the first round, you're probably going to lean to him more. And in limited reps last season, I thought he played well, Bynum. I was actually impressed with him. Definitely wasn't going to be a player that I thought stepped up. When the Vikings lost Harrison Smith and they lost, Anthony Harris, and they lost that tandem, the Harrison Smith-Anthony Harris tandem, I was like, man, this could really hurt this defense. Luckily, though, Bynum was able to step up here a little bit, but O'Connell has already talked to Cine and said, hey, we need you to step up. We want you to be the leader. We want you to be the new face of the franchise on the defense, which is why there was some Harrison Smith trade rumors buzzing. But the Vikings didn't draft him to be a backup. We have to see that. He's physical enough. He can cover tight ends really, really well. And dude loves to hit. I know he's going to bring the lumber. I know he's going to bring that physicality. Making that adjustment to the NFL in your first year is difficult. But here's the thing. Harrison Smith, I could also see maybe potentially playing a few snaps at linebacker this season, which then opens it up. And this is kind of what I said before. If I'm an NFL coach, I'm going to get my best players out there. And if I see that the best unit that I can do is with Bynum at safety, Lewis Cine at safety, throwing Harrison Smith as a potential, box safety, linebacker, hybrid type of role, I'm okay with that. You gave him a lot of money. I get this regime didn't give him the money. But he's a leader on that team, and I know a lot of people want him on the field. All right, y'all, so let's wrap this thing up. Let's put a bow on it. Appreciate everyone that tuned in today. Here are my top 5 training camp storylines to monitor for all y'all out there. Justin Jefferson, he's eyeing 2,000 yards. Who's going to start at right guard? My bet, Jesse Davis. The battle for quarterback 2, Sean Mannion up against Kellen Mond. The new Kirk Cousins, is he going to stand up? And then Lewis Cine and Cam Bynum, who is going to get more reps this upcoming season. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your day.